Well, good morning. Today is Monday, May 24th. I'm Stephen Wynn. This is the Healing the Heart of America program. This is our final week of it. So welcome, everyone. And today we'll be working on our third chakra, healing the third chakra and using it to heal ourselves and the wounds in the heart of our own country, whatever country that is for you. Okay, so let's just get started. So let's all just sit up straight with our feet flat on the floor, whatever adjustments you do to let it be comfortable for your spine to be as erect as possible. And let's start by putting our hands on our heart. This very ancient posture. Brings the energy from the heart through the arms to the hands. There are energy centers in our hands. That's why our hands can be such healing instruments. By putting them on our heart, we bring this circuit of energy to a completion. Just check. Maybe you can feel your heartbeat through your fingers, or your palms. And just note what a minute or two of sitting with your hands on your heart does for your inner landscape, your inner weather, so to speak. We all know that there's a climate outside of us, windy or wet or sunny or dry, whatever it is. And just by analogy, we have the same thing going on inside of us. And much of what we do here is to awaken what's going on inside of us. By awaken, we mean noticing. It's going on whether we notice it or not. When you're ready, put your hands down into your lap. Now let's just watch our breath for a minute. It's our way of saying good morning and noticing our breath. Just sort of run through your standard things to check. How full is your breath? How shallow? How easy is it to breathe? How much resistance is there? Which nostril is dominant, more open? And once we've sort of connected to this dear old friend of ours, our breath, let's begin the process of shifting it. We do that by what we call the full breath. Full exhale, pulling the abdominal muscles all the way back toward the spine. Full, graceful, gradual inhale. Just continue that for a few minutes here. And again, notice what happens when you fill your system with life force. How alive do you feel? How much energy do you experience? How much quietness? Could be that also. Whatever it is perfect. Doesn't have to be any certain way. All that we ask is you just notice it. Noticing is hearing. You're hearing your body. You're seeing it. It wants to be seen and heard. And we want to see and hear it because it is such a part of ourselves. And now let's just take a moment to invite any of the teachers in your lives to join us here for this meditation. Whether they are great spiritual teachers or, aunt, grandmother, grandfather, uncle, whoever it is, Maybe it's an historical figure that you just connect to. Excuse me. Just invite them to be here with us now. I will tell you that in addition to the many other teachers that I invite when I lead these classes, that when I was first starting this class, I was doing a process whereby I invite various spiritual teachers to join my heart. And I was doing this with an extraordinary woman named Nisa Inayat Khan, the firstborn, right, the firstborn, but the first daughter of Hazrat Inayat Khan. And she showed up in her extraordinary majesty. And some part of me, it was not my mind, because I wasn't planning on it. Some part of me asked her if she would be one of the spiritual sponsors for this class. She immediately lit up, and I knew she was saying yes. Very happy with that. And then, to my great astonishment, she invited to join us the Goddess of Liberty. And the presence of the Goddess of Liberty was so vast, you would hardly call it a personality, although there was a flavor of liberty. And I knew that the Goddess of Liberty would also be sponsoring this class. It's not that you need to connect to them, but I just thought it might be of interest to know who, in addition to my other teachers, have loaned and continue to impart their energy to everyone who is a part of this class. Nisa she lived in France and escaped to England during World War II, right before the Germans came in. She went back as a British intelligence officer, was one of the very last to be alive. And she was doing it not because she loved the British, she didn't. She thought they were oppressing them in England and India, but because she believed in freedom and liberty. Both very dear hearts connected to liberty. And liberty is something that is both universal, it's like for a country, and is individual for each one of us to be liberated from our bondage, from our misidentification. Where we think we are our bodies and our minds. Truth, they are a part of us, but we are vast, infinite beings. What we do is, as we experience that vastness, we begin to identify as an infinite spiritual being, rather than as our bodies or our minds. And we say in I Am Heart, the heart is the doorway to that infinity. It can be reached through your mind, no doubt about it. But there's an added blessing as we experience that infinite nature of ourselves through our hearts. So now let's move on into our basic practice, part of the meditation. Inhaling and exhaling, connecting the rhythm of our heartbeat to the rhythm of our breath. So the inhale becomes equal to the exhale. Typically this is 8 heartbeats in, 8 heartbeats out. Whatever number is right for you. And check to see if you notice as we do this practice, you become deeper and more present. That's a great blessing of rhythm, of balance. Keeping up the full inhale, the full exhale. Let's move into our directed breath. Pulling the air in through the nose into our lungs, but in separating the stream of energy from the flow of air. We'll get into our heart for 8 heartbeats. Then on the exhale, the energies just come right back out toward the universe. Eventually, when we do this, we get this sense of enlivening our own energy throughout all of creation. Pulling in the energy of creation into our heart, transforming it just slightly, sort of like just adding our own stamp of vibration to it, pouring it out to the universe again. It's a way of taking all of the wisdom of our experiences and sharing it with the collective wisdom. And similarly, downloading the collective wisdom into our system, into our hearts. This, over time, becomes conscious this process. It becomes a given. It's not even conscious in our minds that we're always thinking about it. But if we do it enough, it just becomes embedded within us, this connection with all of creation. It's an energetic connection. You can connect on the level of consciousness as well. Usually that happens by going within. With energy, you can go out or in. And actually, you can do it with consciousness also, or think about it. They're really two sides of the same coin. Consciousness on the side, energy or intelligence on the other side. So now we're going to start playing with, exploring our third eye, how to use it to heal ourselves, and in the process, heal the wounds in the third eye. So just as a brief recap, we worked with the root chakra, and it's tied into the earth element. We worked with the second chakra, the sacral center, and it's tied into the water element. We worked with the third chakra, the solar plexus, solar sun is obviously the fire element. The heart, we go back to water. When all of these, all the elements exist. But the heart is such a vehicle of love. We say water. On Friday, we worked with the throat chakra and air. This chakra, the third eye, is also air in the sense that there's clarity. But there's also so much light. You could say the fire element there also. Fire and air. The cultures that predominantly use fire and air in their spiritual practices, like the Vedic culture does, put a lot of focus and attention on the third eye. That's why it's sort of famous, the opening of the third eye, to where we can see all sorts of subtle energies and subtle beings. And it's true. It's what happens. We want to be clear, as glorious as it is to see subtle and celestial beings, that this is still just a stopping point to the point where we move into oneness with all that we see, all that we experience. And then that to see these glorious celestial beings as separate from ourselves, it's legitimate and valid if that's what your experience is. But we always want to have the clarity to know Now, what we really want is to merge and expand ourselves enough to where all these celestial beings are part of the same one universal heart that we are a part of. One question that will sort of shock some people, so please be gentle with yourself. Could you allow the very divine essence of yourself to be equal to the divine essence of all these spiritual beings, these great spiritual forces in creation? The tendency is for most of us to see them as so great and so glorious, whether we experience them or not, just the idea of them is that they are big and vast and universal, and we are small and limited. My invitation to you is to allow yourself to expand, become so universal that we become one with these beings, one in essence. It's not that while we're living our daily lives, we are confused as to who we are. That's not how it works. You know, when you experience this vast oneness, it's not like when you're eating dinner and you've got some broccoli on your plate that you're going, oh, I'm one with this broccoli. That happens at times, by the way, but as normal experience of life, it's not there like that. It's like this deep level of oneness pervades. So what I want us to do in terms of a breathing practice is we're going to use the air breath. We're going to inhale through our third eye down to our heart. And exhale up through the spine, through the throat, through the third eye, and back out. To slightly open lips on the inhale, slightly open lips on the exhale. So what you want to do, and I'll walk you through it here, to the same count of 8 or 6 or 10, whatever's your number. Inhale, starting about a foot out, 12 to 18 inches out from your forehead. Inhale through slightly open lips, down to the heart, filling up with a count of 8. Then exhaling through lips up through your throat, through your third eye, and out another 12 or 18 inches. You're coming in through your third eye with this air breath. And if it's a challenge to breathe in from 12 to 18 inches out, don't worry about it. Just start with your imagination. Be easy with it. It'll come. What happens is By doing this practice, we start to pull all the subtle vibrations of creation inside of ourselves from outside of ourselves. Very specifically here, it allows us to, if you desire, and if it's appropriate, to intuit the thoughts of others, which are in the environment. It allows us to intuit the thoughts of the divine beings. I know usually we think of them as behind us, but they're actually everywhere. So this chakra, this third eye, is the center of great insight when it is strengthened, when it is strong, I should say. And this practice allows it to be strong. Great insight. When there is very weak energy in your third eye, you have a very superficial understanding of what's going on. When this energy is distorted, we become judgmental. So if you find yourself judging a lot, which we're all great at, I know, do this practice like this. There's others we can do here. Go there in a second. Another quality that comes in with a strong third eye, a healed, stable third eye, is that we develop fullness of vision, long-term vision. We see way off the effects of what we're doing, what others are doing. We get a picture of where we want to be, and it's easy to hold it. By contrast, if your third eye is wounded or weak, we have very short-term thinking. If it's distorted energy, we're just out of touch with reality. We're not seeing it clearly. Okay, let's do one other practice here. Keep on gaining in our clarity and understanding of this third eye. So now what I want you to do is we're going to let go of the outside energy. This is just going to be totally internal. Is I want you to inhale and exhale between your third eye and your solar plexus. So when you exhale, exhale down to your solar plexus. And inhale up to your third eye. What I'd say is let's go to a sort of a modified fire breath here. Inhale through slightly opened lips from your, into your solar plexus and up to your third eye. And then exhale through the nostrils down to your solar plexus and out. Inhale in through the solar plexus up to your third eye, up the spine, Exhale through the nostrils down. If you recall, we talked about the throat chakra having a connection to the second chakra. This is a connection between the third and the sixth chakras. And one way to heal one of your chakras if it's out of balance is to build up the corresponding chakra. So if your third eye is weak or wounded, pull this energy from the solar plexus up to the third eye and back. Allows that energy connection to be strengthened and the wounds to just sort of burn away, in this case with the fire element. It can be blown away by the air element. To like a puff of wind blows off dust. And just inhale through slightly open lips from the solar plexus up to the third eye. And then exhale down through the nostrils. Down to the solar plexus. And as you keep working with this breathing pattern, let's talk about other qualities of the third eye. So we gain great inner guidance. This is the intuition of the third eye. When it's healthy and strong, we see, we feel, we sense clearly this guidance. If the third eye is weak, we become indecisive. If you've ever known people who couldn't make a decision, in all probability, the third eye needs to be built up. The good news I'll tell you here is that healing a chakra typically is 3 to 6 months. Could be a year or two, depending on the wounds. But it's not a lifetime project. You can always go deeper, don't misunderstand me. But that's sort of our experience. We can make a lot of progress healing a chakra in 3 to 6 months. Just steadily keep up the practice. So what happens is, in terms of our spiritual evolution, we move from our minds, first 3 stages of the heart, 3 steps, then we move into our hearts for 3 steps. Then we move into spirit for the final 3 steps. But then what happens is, then the heart is fully developed at that point, or developed enough. Then what happens is we do the long-term spiritual work, which is character development. It's a strange thing. We think, oh, I'm going to open up my third eye. And that's great. It really is. And you'll love it to whatever degree. I mean, it shows up differently for different people. I would say most people do not walk around seeing celestial beings, but they do sometimes after they've opened up their third eye. It just starts to happen. But I'll just tell you from my own experience, regardless of my spiritual experiences, When I notice some divine quality, some great character development is taking place, that's when I get really excited. Oh, look at this. I'm living in compassion now, and that wasn't there before. I have enough clarity to know that somehow this is a remarkable achievement, a remarkable shift. Or maybe it's wisdom or power. Oh, I have much more power now. All of these things far more important than the chakra development, yet somehow connected. So we can have very clear inner guidance. We can be misguided if the chakra is weak. If the chakra is distorted, has wounds that are distorting its performance, we become misguided, guided in the wrong direction. Another great quality that comes up with the clarity of an open third eye is the ability to focus. Very, very easy to focus, and focus with great power. This is natural focus. It is not the focus or the concentration of willpower. That comes out of the third chakra, by the way, one reason why these two are so connected. If we don't have enough energy in this chakra, what we experience there is confusion rather than focus. And if the energy of the center is distorted, we get tunnel vision. Just keep going. Solar plexus up to the third eye back down to the solar plexus. With tunnel vision, all we can see is the short-term picture. What we want is the ability to focus on what's immediately present in front of us, all the while having a wide open receptivity and awareness of the entire field in front of us. Classic description of this for guys, at least, is a quarterback throwing a football, focusing entirely on the receiver, yet aware of everything that's going around him on the field. It's true of everything. I have a friend who makes quilts. It's just beautiful quilts she makes. She's totally focused on the stitch in front of her, yet totally aware of the whole mosaic pattern. And that's the gift of a third eye that's well developed. All these qualities as the third eye develops, allows us to see within ourselves what needs to shift and be healed to allow ourselves to heal. Get to see with a long-term picture. Begin to notice things you've never noticed before. As an example, you might notice the quality of your experience after eating certain foods. You realize it's just a small part of what's going on. If you're distorted, you have a tunnel vision. You may focus entirely on your diet to the extent of everything else. This is that clarity that comes, this wide focus, wide awareness and sharp focus. So just take a moment. Any physical issue that's going on with you, can you look at it from the clarity of your third eye? Would it be okay with you if you allowed yourself guidance, clarity, inner guidance for what it is in a very broad perspective that needs to shift for you to heal this? What patterns in your life getting a sense of going to bed early, getting in touch with the natural rhythms of day and night to create balance. This is for one of my things, for gout actually, which is a strange thought. But balance in any way, I can see it here now, I'm just interesting. Balance in the system will create balance in my liver. It generates all this uric acid. This is what you want to start seeing. What is it in the long run that will create in you a platform of balance, harmony in your system that will allow your body to heal? Now, that's a very long-term solution, and that's what the third eye will give you. It may also give you short-term solutions. But is it all right with you to step into your third eye and use it on a very practical level to give you the vision of yourself in perfect health? What about in your relationships? Do you allow the clarity of the third eye to take a look at some relationship that's troubling you? Family, work, wherever it is, or just some old pattern in relationships that's troubling you. Shows up again and again in your life. Can you look at it from the perspective of your third eye and see deeply within it? What is there? What is there for you to shift, to heal? Would it be okay with you to let the divine light pour forth from your third eye and fill that pattern or that person with divine light? Would it be okay with you to see it? See this person as a divine being, and act and speak to them as if they were a divine being. You could do the same with your career, with your finances. From this place of a very clear and strong third eye, can you see money as divine energy? Can you greet it with love, with gratitude? If we greet money with the wounds of our heart, the wounds in our body, whatever it is, where we're judging, like here's third eye judgment, judging money as being hard to get, easy to lose, easy to spend, the root of all evil, all that sort of thing. How likely is money to be to come visit you if that's your picture of money? That's your vision of money. Would it be okay with you to go deeper? Just as basic experiences of life, and see money as divine energy, freely flowing wherever it is loved and appreciated. And take a moment to expand out to your family, your community, your state, your country. Would it be okay with you to greet the issues in your country? I'll just say America, with the clarity of your third eye. It'd be okay if you take a long-term view of what's going on in our country. You might see we've been very divided in the past and then come together again. Even to the point in America of a civil war. Would it be okay with us if we allow the solutions to our lack of harmony to present themselves as deep wisdom, as deep understanding, as deep inner guidance? Could we be that force that awakens this third eye for America? You will find that every country has a subtle body, energetic body, just like we do. And I don't know where all these centers are in the United States, but I can tell you for the third eye, the center is New York City. So I've been told, I should say. And one of my teachers. to be okay with us if everything in New York City were healed and New York City lived in deep clarity and provided wisdom for the country. Could we just pull in a vision of our country as whole and healed? A long-term vision where we see the love, the harmony, and the beauty of this great country dominating. Whatever that picture looks like to you, could you just enjoy it for a moment? Greatness of America, living and radiating perfect Dharma, purity, wholeness. And just let that vision go. We don't have to do anything with a vision like that. We're just setting an intention to focus again in our hearts with a normal breathing pattern. Feel the energy in your body. Feel the texture of your experience. You may notice that it's lighter than the days when we were working on our lower chakras. Maybe you don't notice it. It's okay. Just check to see if you can remember what you felt after the other chakras. Notice that they all have their own unique flavor. And is it okay with us if we become fluent with all these different flavors of our chakras? Notice your feet firmly on the ground. And just take a moment to come out of meditation. And just open your eyes when you're ready. There's no rush. And of course, if you need to go, we totally understand. Anyone who'd like to stay and share gains, or if something got stirred up during this meditation, we could work on it, or anything in your life at all that you would like to see differently, experience differently. Please either speak up or raise your hand. Hunter, I see you unmuted yourself.
I raised my hand.
Oh, I didn't see the hand, but
I can mute it. And it's automatic. Yeah.
all right. What's going
Wow. Powerful. The first thing is just kind of funny, and then the thing to work on. The funny part is I've been putting up new chicken wire around my gardens, and when I was going out to the third eye, expanding space and all that, I was surrounded by chicken wire. All I could see was chicken
on?
wire.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
Funny things happen. The issue is that I had a traumatic experience as a child, which is influenced my whole life as in a very, very bad way. And who would think that something your father said at one little moment could have such an impact and distort your flow of energy? Um, I was about 7 or 8 years old, maybe, let's say 8, 7, and my parents took me to the uh, eye, nose, throat doctor. And so we went in, and my dad, he said, "What's the problem?" My dad said, "My God, Hunter's breath is so terrible, horrible. You can't even stand to get near him." And then they checked my tonsils, and I don't know what happened. But that just seared into my mind. I knew that I had this horrible breath and energy, this horrible energy coming out of me everywhere that I went. I wouldn't get close to people. I wouldn't. This
Yeah.
persisted to the extent that in a workshop with Suzanne, she wanted us to do face-to-face work, making sounds real close to somebody, and I ran out of the class. I mean, it's just when I don't want people to sit in front of me when I'm singing. If people move, I think it's because of my bad breath. Even though I've been assured 1,000 times that I don't have bad breath, it doesn't matter. It's in there. So that's the work.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for opening up and sharing that with us, Hunter. Thank you very much. So, everyone else, could you go back to something you were told as a child that's always stuck with you? And probably realize that it shouldn't stick with you, but there it is. It defies reasonableness, but there it is. So, Hunter, can you go back to that memory? And there you
Yeah.
are, 7 or 8 years old. I'm sure you've been there many times. And do you notice that you still have an aversion to this memory? You don't like it.
Um,
You wish it wasn't
I
there.
don't like it having happened.
Right,
I wish it wasn't there.
right. So
I wish
does
it never happened.
wishing it wasn't there, wishing it never happened, does that make it not happen?
No,
No, it doesn't.
no.
No. So, that resisting, wishing, not liking it, we call this resistance. Since resisting doesn't make it go away, and in fact, what we say is what you resist persists, would you be willing to take a different approach here?
Yes.
Yes. So the first question I have for you, would it be okay for you to shift? Because right now, this is a big, life-altering experience that's been with you forever and you've never been able to shake it. Would it be okay for you, just on the level of intention, if this became easy to shift?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Could you make that decision again?
Yes.
It's okay if this is easy to shift.
Yes.
Yeah, it is okay, isn't it? So
Okay. It's
when you
okay.
good, when you go back there, you're 7 or 8 years old. My guess is that one day you probably had bad breath. Okay, I don't think your father's making that up. All right.
No
So
problem.
yeah. So would it be okay with you if you look through your life and you see where there's times when you weren't perfect, and lump that bad breath day in with all the rest of the bad hair days and the bad BO days and the bad this days and this and that? Could you let them all just be equal?
Let's try it.
So
Yes.
just say yes to that. Okay?
Yes.
Just say yes to it. Just allow it to be equal.
Yes.
You know, we all
Yes.
have things like this, and this is one more of them. And if you see it in that light, it becomes more manageable, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you let it be even more manageable?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Now, do you think your father meant to energetically and emotionally wound you for the rest of your life when he said that to you?
Oh, good Lord, no.
No, not at all. So, would it be okay with you if you saw your father as someone who was just doing the best he could do and wanting to protect you from having bad breath?
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And could you look at this whole picture and check to see if you have any remaining disapproval energy, any not liking of this picture, this whole experience of this memory? Can you
That's
just check
dissipating.
it dissipated?
Just
Yeah,
less.
yeah, just let it go some more.
Less.
Yeah, let it go some more.
Mhm.
And I'm going to propose to you as you let that go, I'm going to propose to you that what your father said and did was probably an overstatement and over dramatization. I get that. And God bless him. I'm sure he was doing it with the best of intentions. But I'm going to propose to you that your reaction to this and your lifelong pattern that erupted from this, that emerged from this, was probably already there since you were born. That you brought it in, whether you believe in reincarnation or whether you believe that, when you first come in, you pick up other people's energy that needs to be transformed, that you just came in with this pattern. And that's why, your father was a trigger, but it was already there. Does that make any sense to you?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes, yes. So could you forgive your father for reacting the way he did?
Yes.
Yes. And I'll just tell you
Yes.
from my own
Yes.
experience, I had a high school teacher one day say, "You have terrible breath." I go, "Really?" He said, "Here, take a certs." And I took a certs, and then I made sure to brush my teeth in the morning after that. And the reason I'm saying this is that I'm trying to point out that if you don't have the energy in there already, if someone tells you something like that, it doesn't register a big event. You get that?
Got it.
Got it. So would it be okay with you if you see your father as being the one to awaken this pattern within yourself so you can deal with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And could you give your father some love and
Yeah.
approval for being that postman delivering that mail? You get that?
Yes.
He's just the postman delivering a message.
Yes.
And you're waking up and saying, "Oh, I have to deal with this pattern." Now, could you allow yourself to see that this has been such a dominant pattern in your life that at this point, it's a powerful opportunity for your spiritual growth to heal this pattern?
Yes.
Yes. So imagine suddenly being free to get into someone's face and speak to them, free to sing in front of people, free to do sound practices in front of people without feeling any self consciousness whatsoever. Would that be an okay thing for you?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
And can you see, because intellectually, you don't have bad breath anymore. You've been told this 1,000 times, right? Can you see intellectually that this is not about bad breath?
Yeah.
Yeah, so your mind is there, but still the deep pattern fear is there that you may be offending other people, right?
Right.
Okay. Would it be okay with you if you welcome up this pattern, this fear of offending other people?
Yes.
Yes. And is it okay with you if you just greet that pattern with love from your heart?
Yes.
Yes. Can you greet it with more love
Yes.
and more love? And everyone else, whatever pattern is going on in your life, greet it with love and more love. What's your experience as you do this, Hunter?
Well, my experience in with my father was almost immediately I emotionally saw that and I started to cry
Good,
before we even went there,
good,
and how much I loved him.
nice.
So that went, and
Could you let
I
that up
have
some more? Yeah,
he's he's moved he's moved my back now. Okay, with the others.
nice,
Okay,
nice.
um, and and yeah, I can I understand that it's an energy that
Yes,
came before that. Even
yes,
small child, I didn't like to be held, for example, like,
yes. That's it. All the same energy there.
kind of
All,
stuff.
all, all out of this basic fear that if they experience who you are, they're going to reject you or whatever, and you're not going to be safe or something like that. I don't know the whole story, but that's the pattern here.
All of that.
Right. Would it be okay with you if you ask your father if he loves you? Does your father love you?
Yes.
Yes, your father loves you even if you have bad breath, doesn't he?
No.
He doesn't love you if you have bad breath.
Oh, if he did, he would still love me.
He would still love you, right?
Yeah.
Would it be okay with you if you stepped into being willing to be loved by everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if you're not perfect, is it okay with you if people love you anyway?
Yes.
Yes. So the partner,
Yes.
when you're doing a sound practice together, is it okay if they love you even if you're not perfect?
Yes.
Person you're singing to, it's okay if they love you even if you're not perfect.
Yes.
Yes. Could you let go of this whole pattern of wanting to be perfect?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have to be perfect for people to love you?
I hope not.
Yeah. I don't think
No.
you I don't think you do you?
No.
No. So would it be okay with you
No.
if you start greeting people with the fullness of your breath?
Yes.
That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it okay with you, just
Yeah.
like you might, share a glass of wine with someone or a drink with someone? I don't know if you drink or not, but is it okay with you just in that same sense that you share breath with your friends and neighbors?
Yes.
It's okay, isn't it?
Okay.
Yes. Is it okay with you if you step so fully into loving your breath that as you breathe, you're spreading your love?
Yeah.
Yes. So every time you breathe, take a deep breath in, exhale it, and can you feel how you're spreading your love with that exhale?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So what we're trying to do here, Hunter, is shift your deep pattern, because right now, on a subtle level, when you breathe out, you're pushing people away out of fear that they're going to reject you if you breathe too closely. We're shifting that. I'm asking you and inviting you to develop a new pattern that says, as I exhale, I'm spreading love. Is that okay with you to develop that pattern?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And is it okay with you if this new pattern you're developing brings you closer and closer to loving all of creation? Is that
Yes.
okay with you? Yes. Is it
Yes.
okay with you if your breath becomes a vehicle for you to move into the universal heart?
Yes.
Yes. So, we have a mind and we have a heart, and the breath is between the two of them. The breath unites the mind and the heart. Would it be okay with you if your breath united your mind and your heart?
Yes.
That's okay, isn't it? So pull up a picture of
Yes.
your father. Is it okay with you if you exhale directly into his face? Or does that create resistance?
No resistance.
Good. So can you just feel that resistance? It's just energy that wants to leave. Love that resistance. It's trying to protect you from being hurt by your father. Could you again pull up a picture of your father and breathe directly into his face?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And can you allow that to be a free, easy, and loving experience? You still have resistance coming up, or is it going smoothly?
It's going smoothly.
Going smoothly. That's a big shift then, isn't it?
Very smoothly. It feels good, and
Nice.
it
Is it
really feels good.
good? Is it okay with you if you allow this feeling of goodness to be associated with your breath?
Yes.
Yes. Can you allow your breath to be your friend here?
Yes.
Yes. Is it okay with you anytime you start to feel anxious or nervous about it? You just start letting go of any disapproval about your breath and give your breath some love and approval until it's easy for you to feel that your breath is your friend. Is that all right with you?
Easy to feel. Yes.
Yeah. So that's your job here. That's your path forward. And I'll just tell you, with a big pattern like this, I think you're going to discover in 3 to 6 months, you've got a whole new relationship with your breath and a whole new life, actually. Okay? All right. Good work and good luck with this. Just keep working with it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay. Michael, you've got your hand up.
Good morning, Stephen. Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly.
Wonderful. I'd like to release on wanting support.
Ah, wanting support.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So everyone else check to see if you're getting enough support in your life, or if you think that you could use more support in part of your life. So Michael,
Yeah.
so people should support you. Is that true?
Well, whether it is or isn't, it's not happening. So it's kind of immaterial.
Right. Right. So yeah, when we hold a thought like that, does that pull more support in, or does that push support away?
I honestly don't think people should. The idea that people should support me is no. That doesn't ring true for me. It's more. It's a wanting energy. Like
Yeah.
today, I'm trying to fix sort out two computer things. It's a little bit tricky, and I'm like, oh, it'd be great if someone. And yeah, it's a general feeling. And even dialing into this call, it's like they're wanting support. Yeah.
Yes. So that wanting support, there's a lacking feeling there that you don't have enough support, right?
Yeah, or I don't. I need it from someone else. Yeah,
You need it from
it's,
somebody else, right? That's why I
I need it
say
from someone.
they
Yeah,
they should give you support.
I
And
can't. I can't. Yeah, I need it from someone else. Yeah.
yeah. So could you let go of disapproving of people or the world because you're not getting enough support?
Yeah, it's not. I don't feel like. Am I disapproving of? I mean,
Well, let me ask you that. So when you don't get support, are you happy
yeah,
or are you frustrated?
frustrated.
Frustrated,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So could you let go of that frustration? Is a frustration causing people to give you support?
No, it's more frustration about myself. I think, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah,
I get you.
yeah, yeah,
So, so you're judging yourself for not being good enough, for not knowing how to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, good.
And I want other people to do it for me instead.
Right. Right. So this judging yourself, not being good enough to do it yourself,
Yeah.
is that drawing in support?
No, absolutely.
No, it does not, does it?
No.
No. So would it be okay with you if you just got in touch with that energy of judging yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. That judging yourself, can you just be with it? It's a voice within you that wants to be heard. Could you love yourself enough to hear that voice? Is that okay with you to hear it, to listen to it, to be with it?
Can you ask me that again? If you like?
I'm sorry, say that again.
You say again the question. Can I
Yeah.
welcome?
Can you welcome up this judgment that you're not good enough and you need support? And just be with it. Love it.
Yeah. It was. I think what you said was the voice that really struck a chord.
Yeah, it's one of the many voices within you.
Yeah.
Is it okay with you if you have numerous voices within yourself?
Oh, not really. No.
Oh no, you're like just like the rest of us and everyone else. How do you feel about it? Having all different voices. So, Michael, this not liking all these voices,
Yeah.
what do you think? Is that a good strategy?
Well.
Well, no, right? And does it make them go away?
No.
No, because you still have them after all these years of trying to push them away.
Yeah.
Would it be okay with you if you shifted how you handled the voices within you?
Yes.
Yes. And just can you see, just to make yourself feel better, Can you see everybody has different voices within them?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't given it much thought.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. It's the process by which we grow. It's a process of becoming integrated. We integrate all the voices within us. And that's the job of the heart, by the way.
Oh,
I think I mentioned it once before. The Taoist tradition says we have 10 voices, one each for the 5 yin organs, one each for the 5 yang organs. And the Tao says the heart is the one that pulls them all together.
right.
Okay? And just as a general way of looking at this, when we go to create something in our life, and we've got one voice that says, I want it, and one voice that says, wait a second, I'm not sure, that may cause us a lot of problems. How powerful and effective are we? You know, part of us wants it, part of it doesn't,
Yeah.
right? So our job is to hear the voices, register, acknowledge them, love them, and let them express themselves so that we can become integrated, we can become unified in our manifesting this in our lives. That makes sense?
Yes, very much
Yes.
so.
So these different voices within you, could you welcome them up and greet them?
Yes.
Yes, it's okay, isn't it? I mean, because they're there. They're there. We all know it. And we might as well hear them and listen to them, just like you and I want to be heard. These voices want to be heard, right?
Right.
And to take this a little further, when we speak with divided energy, do people hear us? And I'm going to tell you, not so much. When we speak with unified energy, we speak with a way and a manner that is so deep and profound that people want to hear it. So, Michael, is it okay with you if you hear these voices to allow yourself to be heard as well?
Yeah.
That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it okay if you hear all these voices so you can become more integrated and more powerful? Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Do you have resistance to being powerful?
Do I have resistance? I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Good, perfect. It was just a question. You hesitated a bit. I thought maybe
Yeah.
because sometimes people are afraid that if they're powerful, they'll misuse their power. But that's not here. Let's not worry about it. So, Michael,
Yeah.
can you just hear these voices about wanting support?
Yeah.
And could you just say yes to them? I hear you.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. It's a different habit you're developing here to hear these voices. Could you
Yeah.
again say, I hear you to these voices that are wanting support?
I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you. Notice how you actually said that with a lot of love. Yeah. Could you just love these voices that want support?
Yes.
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 Could
Yes.
you love them some more?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. When you love these voices and allow them to be there, you allow them to hear, are you less willing or are you more willing to ask for help?
It doesn't really feel relevant, actually. It's more like I don't really care.
Nice, nice. That's even better. That's even better. So after you've heard them, it's okay if you ask for help. It's okay if you don't, right?
Yes, let me just check. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So notice how peaceful that place is, right?
yeah,
You could have it,
yeah,
you could not have it.
yeah,
And it's from this peaceful, powerful place that I invite you to act. Either ask for help or ignore it and go on ahead. Because you're at a place with no attachment, no aversions. And if you don't care either way, the voices are quiet and you can move forward in a very powerful manner. Integrated. You see that?
yes,
Yes. So this is the job that when you find yourself wanting something like that, like support or whatever it is, could you just listen to the voices, hear them, love them? And then once you've heard them and they're at peace, just check to see, I could do this, I could do it or I could not do it. Nothing more is trying to run you. And then you go inside the deep wisdom of your heart and make a decision as to what direction you want to proceed.
yeah.
Okay? Would it be okay with you if this becomes a habit for you?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And is it okay with you if it takes a few times for that habit to become habitual?
Yes,
Yeah, that we've done this before. It's the same thing, right?
yeah, yeah,
Sure. It's the same thing. And is it okay with you? I invite everyone to go here. You look back at the end of the year, New Year's Eve, you're sitting there and you're looking back, how grateful you are that you have these new habits, these new patterns of using your heart and the love of your heart to live in the world. Is that an okay picture with you, Michael?
yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
good. So everybody just let that picture go and we'll take that as a good place to end this session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for bringing it up. So God bless us all. And we will see you tomorrow for the crown. And then the last 3 days, I think we're going to have really a lot of fun. But I'm not going to tell you yet. God bless us all. Much love to everybody.